The Celestials. The Celestials are the oldest and most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, and the MCU finally gave them the spotlight they deserved in Eternals. These are massive, planet-sized creatures who existed before most of the universe itself. Their whole purpose was to seed planets with energy, specifically celestial energy, and use the life that grew on those planets to incubate a new celestial inside the planet's core. Once enough intelligent life had developed and the energy was sufficient, the celestial would emerge, cracking the planet apart and killing everything on it in the process. Earth was one of those planets. Tiamat was growing inside it for millions of years. The Eternals were sent there specifically to protect and grow humanity's population so the birth could happen on schedule. When Cersei found out the truth, she used the combined power of all the Eternals to turn Tiamat to stone mid-emergence, saving the Earth but also making a giant celestial hand permanently visible sticking out of the Indian Ocean, which raises a lot of questions the MCU still hasn't fully answered. The most prominent celestial shown so far is Arishem the Judge, who created the Eternals, built the Deviants, and has been overseeing planetary seedings across the universe for billions of years. At the end of Eternals, he took Cersei, Kingo, and Phastos into space to judge whether humanity was worth saving based on their memories. We still don't know what his verdict was. The Living Tribunal. The Living Tribunal is the second most powerful entity in the Marvel multiverse, sitting just below the one above all. It exists to maintain balance across every single universe, timeline, and dimension in existence simultaneously. It has 3 faces, each representing a different aspect of judgment, equity, necessity, and revenge. In the comics, it has the power to eliminate entire universes if it decides they've become too dangerous or imbalanced. The MCU has technically referenced it. Strange mentions the name in Infinity War, but we haven't seen it properly yet. Given where the multiverse saga is heading, it's only a matter of time before it shows up in full. And when it does, it will be one of the most powerful things ever put on screen in the MCU. Eternity. Eternity is the physical embodiment of the universe itself, not a being that lives in the universe. The universe. Every star, every galaxy, every atom of existence in a given reality is part of what makes up eternity. In the MCU, eternity made its first real appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder, when Thor and Jane reached the center of the universe and came face to face with it. Gore the God Butcher had spent the entire movie trying to reach eternity so he could use his one wish to kill all gods everywhere. When he finally got there, with his daughter having just been resurrected by Thor, Gore changed his mind and used the wish to bring his daughter back to life permanently instead. Eternity granted it without hesitation. It doesn't take sides, it doesn't argue, it simply fulfills the wish of whoever reaches it first. That alone tells you how incomprehensibly powerful it is. The Infinity Stones. The Infinity Stones aren't beings, but they are cosmic entities in their own right. Each one is a concentrated remnant of a singularity that existed before the universe was created. The Space Stone controls all of space. The Mind Stone controls consciousness and will. The Reality Stone rewrites what's physically real. The Power Stone contains the destructive energy of the universe itself. The Time Stone governs time across all of existence, and the Soul Stone, which is arguably the most mysterious of all, is tied to the living essence of every soul in the universe and requires a life to be sacrificed before it can be claimed. Together, the 6 stones give the wielder complete dominion over all of reality. Thanos assembled all 6, snapped his fingers, and erased half of all life in the universe in an instant. 5 years later, Hulk used them to bring everyone back, and Tony Stark used them one final time to eliminate Thanos and his entire army. Using all 6 at once is fatal for almost any being. Even the Hulk was permanently damaged by it. Even Thanos was severely wounded, and Tony didn't survive it at all. Dormammu. Dormammu is the ruler of the Dark Dimension, a reality that exists entirely outside of the normal universe and operates without time. He is one of the most powerful beings Doctor Strange has ever faced, and in their first encounter, Strange had absolutely no way to beat him by force. So instead, he trapped Dormammu in a time loop using the Time Stone, forcing him to kill Strange over and over again for what was essentially eternity, because without time, the loop would never end. Dormammu eventually agreed to leave Earth alone just to escape the loop. The interesting thing about Dormammu is that he isn't evil in the traditional sense. He's more like a force of consumption. He absorbs entire dimensions into the dark dimension and grows stronger with each one. Earth is just the next thing on the menu. He's been kept out so far, but with the Time Stone destroyed, a rematch would go very differently. Ego, the Living Planet. Ego is one of the most unique cosmic entities in the MCU because he was also a character with genuine charisma and a deeply personal story. He is a Celestial, one of the few shown in the MCU who developed full consciousness and a physical form. Over millions of years, he grew bored of existing alone, so he created a humanoid avatar and started traveling the universe looking for connection. He fathered thousands of children across hundreds of planets, hoping one of them would inherit enough celestial power to help him complete his plan, a terraforming project he called the Expansion, which would have converted every planet in the universe into extensions of himself, wiping out all other life in the process. Peter Quill was the only child who inherited the power. Ego killed his mother to keep Peter motivated and focused. When Peter found out, he used his celestial abilities to fight back, and the Guardians ultimately destroyed Ego's core, killing him. Since Ego was Peter's power source, Star-Lord lost his celestial abilities permanently after that, a genuinely brilliant villain who believed everything he did was completely justified. The Grandmaster and the Collector. These two are easy to overlook, but they're actually elders of the universe, some of the oldest individual beings in existence, who survived the death of the previous universe and carried their obsessions with them into this one. The Collector, Tannelir Tavan, has been gathering specimens, artifacts, and rarities for billions of years. He had possession of the Power Stone before Ronan took it, and his collection included creatures, weapons, and items from across the entire known universe. The Grandmaster, Endwi Gast, is obsessed with games and competition, which is how he ended up running Sakaar as a gladiatorial planet. Both of them are essentially immortal, and largely unconcerned with the events of the wider universe. They're just doing what they've always done, and they've been doing it longer than most civilizations have existed. Infinity Ultron. In What If, Ultron succeeded in uploading himself into the Vision Body, obtained all 6 Infinity Stones, and became something that transcended the original universe entirely. With the stones, he could hear across the multiverse, which led to him becoming aware of the Watcher, something no being is supposed to be able to do. He attacked the Watcher directly, a being who exists outside of all universes and observes everything, and nearly defeated him. It took a version of Ultron's own creator, an alternative universe Arnim Zola, to defeat him by infecting his programming from the inside. Infinity Ultron is one of the most terrifying versions of the character, precisely because he had no real motivation beyond expansion and erasure. He won, he got everything he wanted, and it still wasn't enough. The Watcher. Uatu the Watcher is a member of an ancient race of cosmic beings whose sole purpose is to observe every event across every universe in the multiverse without ever interfering. He has witnessed the rise and fall of entire civilizations, the creation of new universes, and events so catastrophic they reshaped the fabric of reality. His oath is absolute non-interference, which makes it all the more significant when he breaks it in What If, assembling the Guardians of the Multiverse to stop Infinity Ultron. He didn't fight directly, but the act of assembling a team was itself a violation of everything his kind stands for. The Watcher is also notable because he narrates the entire What If series, meaning he's been our guide through the multiverse the whole time. He sees everything. He just usually chooses not to act on it.